Hello everybody, it's the August 2024 garden update. Just hot and dry. But things are hanging in pretty well. Herb garden's still hanging in there. Need to do a little weeding. It's been way too hot, so that'll just have to wait a little bit. The hollyhocks and citronella plants are still hanging in. Not looking as good as they did, but it's sure hot and dry. Here's this random okra plant that came up here, and it's starting to bloom a little bit, so that's pretty cool. I dropped some seeds, and one rolled down here and sprouted and is growing just fine. There's some bulbs I need to plant, spider lilies. Little flower bed by the lean-to is doing okay. Got a little bit of blooms here and there, just not the time of year for it to bloom. Probably October, maybe late September it'll start blooming again. The ground cover's doing its thing. AC is working great. Here's this Turk's cap plant. Looks to be fully back to health, so I'm real happy to see that. Here's what the flower bed by my workshop's looking like. These coleus plants have pretty well taken over, which they usually do this time of year. And then that smaller one is one of the survivors from the hailstorm. And then there's a couple of the begonias peeking through. They're just hanging in there. And not too much going on with this flower bed this time of year. Got a little bit of sunflowers blooming. And the Turk's cap's blooming. Hummingbirds are starting to come in here. And here's from this side, just kind of doing its thing. Looks a little better on this side. Got plenty of black-eyed peas coming in. Okra is doing outstandingly right now. There's some to pick there. Actually a lot to pick. So I'll be gathering some okra here after I get done with this video. And more okra there. I have planted some fall cucumbers. Very few have come up, but there are a few poking through. I'll put out some more seed here in a little while. Perhaps they just didn't get enough watering. Tomato plants are still here, and they are trying. It's just too hot for them to bloom right now. More okra. Actually got some tomatoes over here. And these pear tomatoes have done fantastic this year. Got a bunch of those. So those must like hot weather. The cantaloupe are done. So I'll probably be taking that out pretty soon. More okra. More black-eyed peas. And even more okra. 4 o'clock's looking pretty healthy, and it's got some black-eyed peas growing amongst it. These tomatoes are still here, just waiting on some cooler weather. The zinnia garden it's still there. A lot more okra there. The cantaloupe from this vine has been absolutely delicious. Ah, we've got a tobacco hornworm, I bet. Somewhere. I'll go move that to another type of plant that they like. These 4 o'clocks are absolutely massive this year. Blooming pretty well. Wouldn't hurt to have some rain. Not looking too great, not looking too bad. I've got my fall tomatoes planted out. And more okra. And more black-eyed peas. Got some nice looking bell peppers. Probably ought to go ahead and pick those because they might get a little sunburn. There's a beneficial insect right there. Excellent to see. Those are not beneficial insects there, so got to get rid of those. Yep, got a bunch of those are leaf-footed bugs, and those need to be eliminated ASAP. So I'll stand down just a minute and thin those out. Well, after a little bit of soapy water, the leaf-footed bug infestation is under control. And there's one of those big green beetles. See, they're slowing down. I typically carry a bottle of soapy water, insecticidal soap, with me as I'm looking at the garden each day, and I can stop a lot of infestations when they're just getting started. Got a ton of black-eyed pea blooms. Very good to see this time of year. And we'll do an overall look from this side. Got some marigolds blooming there. Pollinators are pollinating. Here's the little flower bed on the south side of the property. Got some zinnias blooming here and there. Looking pretty good. Got more shrooms for the month of August. Gonna have some giant marigolds blooming here. Again, I need to do some weeding. It's just been too hot, so pardon the weeds. And then got different things. A lot of coravinca blooming here. Little wildlife on the gas line. Trying to hide. The yellow flower bed's not doing much right now. However, the tropicals are doing fine. I have option orange and red going today. The pentas are just still killing it. Looking great. Probably could use some fertilizer. They're doing their thing. The Uranus bushes are still hanging on. These white chrysanthemums, they should start blooming here in about a month or so. They're not looking too spry right now, but I think they'll be okay. Hanging basket number 1, still hanging in there. Looking pretty good, I think. And then hanging basket number 2. Looking even better. The flower bed by the mailbox is looking pretty well for middle of summer. And here's the flower bed at the front of the house in the front yard. Blooming and looking pretty good. Be about time for fertilizer here in about 2 weeks. And here's the back side of the same flower bed. Got some coravinca spilling over, which looks pretty good. And then this section here is just getting with it. Everything's filled in and pollinators are pollinating. Just a good morning here. And the flower bed on the north side of the property, not doing too much right now. Oak saplings are doing very well. I need to remove those once again. That's just an ongoing process. And the clearance flower bed still doing okay. It's just real hot, real dry, and doing the best it can. This thing here is probably almost 2 feet tall at that point. Just took the 81 out, and it's pretty humid this morning. Had the AC going. Here's a little strip of grass on the north side of the driveway. Doing okay. Can't really complain. It is becoming armyworm season, so I've got to start keeping a close eye on that. Front lawn for this time of year looking pretty good. And here's the side yard on the south side of the property, looking pretty good. And once again, for the month of August, plenty of shrooms to go around. Crepe myrtles are in full bloom, looking pretty good. Here's a look at the backyard from this angle. We'll check in on our leaf-footed bugs. Looks like the insecticidal soap did the trick, no problem. So good to get those thinned down a little bit. And let's take a quick look at the backyard from this side. Can't complain about that for the month of August. Not bad at all. So once again, August 2024 garden update. Thank you for watching.